You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Thursday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby. I found out that I live in a really safe neighborhood this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so yesterday, my son Marcus had some soccer practice. We got home, and he was, dicking around getting out of the back seat of the car. Normally, I'll wait and, make sure he's out and got all his stuff and all that. And he was just screwing around. He was trolling me. I was like, you know what? I'm not waiting for you. I'm going inside. Fast forward to this morning, 4 a.m. as I walk out the door to get ready to come to work. He left the door wide open in my car.
What time was this at?
We got home at 7:20 p.m. last night. It sat ajar. Not even ajar, because that implies it's a little open. Fully open. I got outside this morning. I'm like, someone broke into my car. Someone broke into my car. Nothing is disturbed. Nothing is taken. Nothing has been opened, closed, moved, nothing. He left the door open at 7 p.m., and it just stayed that way for 9 full nighttime hours.
Damn. Do you have anything in your car?
No, I keep I keep a couple of coins in case I need a cart if I go grocery shopping. Yeah. But that's it. If you broke into my car, you would at most get $1.25. Yeah, that's the score.
Maybe someone did look in it, but nobody likes to carry change nowadays. So they were like,
they looked at my car. They were like, oh, I'd leave the door open too if I had nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. I fully almost shit my pants when I came out of the house.
Oh, for sure.
And then I was just like, oh, no, I guess we're fine. The only downside was friggin' cold in my car.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I saw a study yesterday that I thought was really cool in that scientists and medical professionals have created a thumb prosthesis that they can put on. It's obviously intended for people who are missing a thumb through accidents or birth defects or what have you, but they tested it on both people in need and people who had 5 fully functioning digits.
So they gave people double thumbs?
An extra thumb on the other side, and within a fairly reasonable short period of time, they said that study participants from the age of 3 all the way up to the age of 90 were all pretty much able to figure it out pretty quick.
There's a lot of people that were finally able to palm a basketball after that.
Right? Oh my God, I feel like Shaquille O'Neal. That might be the first thing that I would do. That and just feeling like you got a real good grip on a fastball. I feel like a double thumb, 6-finger fastball, I don't know if I'm throwing 90 miles an hour, but I think
that's more of a knuckleball kind of hand, actually, myself. You get that gnarly grip on there.
I thought this was really cool. We talk all the time on this show about the things that science is doing that are completely unnecessary. But, again, not only the idea that this could help people who are down a digit, but think of the ramifications of just having an extra thumb, of having that additional security when you're holding and grabbing things.
If we as humans all had the extra thumb, we'd be able to take down the gorilla in the 100 versus the 1 gorilla situation.
That's what we've been missing.
Just saying, yeah.
All the people from yesterday who were on my side pro-gorilla, I think it changes a little bit if now all of a sudden we have an extra thumb to fight with.
Also, imagine you're taking the groceries out of your car, right? 1 extra bag on the thumb there.
That's just it. For everybody that's ever played the I will not make 2 trips from my car to my house game, having an extra thumb, especially if it has a little bit of extra tensile strength because it is artificial.
If you're a swinger, oh my God, you got endless possibilities there. An extra thumb to sneak around?
Do I want you to clarify what you mean by swinger, or do we all know?
Leave it up to the imagination.
I think we all know.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
If you could have any body part as an extra body part, which one would you want?
I want an extra brain. Then I'd be twice as smart as I already am.
I think half of our politicians could probably use an extra brain.
I'd say more like 90%.
I've seen a few people texting on the text line saying they'd like an extra liver for drinking. Same thing with the second brain. You have you're smoking your drinking brain, and then you have your working brain,
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah.
Right? That could totally work.
I'm not sure on the physiological side of things, but if science could find a way to let you have a brain for work and a brain for fun, I think it would make people make a lot better decisions in their life.
A lot of people saying they'd like a third eye. A lot of moms out there could do the actual thing, put the eye in the back of their head there.
Dude, especially if you've got long hair, the idea that you could do like the part behind your head to pull out the third eye and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Keep it hidden otherwise. I agree with the people who said that an extra arm would be the way to go. I think you go even further. You remember Goro, the bad guy from the Mortal Kombat game, had the 4 arms? Give me 1 on each side, so I've got 4. Let me be ultra productive or really good at being lazy.
Yeah.
Imagine sitting on the couch, video game controller in 2 hands, a beer and a bag of chips in the other 2 hands. You would never have to get up for anything to go into the bathroom.
Oh, if you worked on assembly line, you'd be employee of the month every month.
You'd be an assembly line.
We've got Sean on the phone. Sean, if you could have an extra body part, what body part would you want, my man?
A bunch of nipples, like a cat.
Why the hell would you want extra nipples?
Just to go to the water park and freak people out, walk around shirtless.
Now, here's the question. You sound like a fella. Yeah. Would you make the extra nipples functional in some way, or would you just keep them useless as is?
Oh, useless. That's just something else to break.
Something to rub around when you're bored, you know?
That's right.
Strumming them like a guitar?
It's way more acceptable than reaching down and scratching your balls.
Well, yeah, you can just flick at them all day long.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I'm very excited. Today is one of the most important days of the year when just regular folks like myself can do our part for the environment and not mow our lawns for the entire month of May.
Oh, you're still on that no-mow May crap?
Well, listen, every year I'm told more and more that it's good for the pollinators, it's good for the bees. Bees keep society moving. Why do you want the bees to die?
See, I've seen all that, and then I've seen a bunch of articles where it's like, it doesn't really make a difference if you're the only one in your neighborhood who's doing it, because then everybody else's lawn, so it's like your one lawn is going to change things around for the bees.
I think it's more important if I'm the only one in my neighborhood, because if everybody else is mowing their lawns and killing all their dandelions, then it's up to me to become a bee sanctuary.
I've also read stuff online that it says it absolutely destroys your lawn because you're letting the dandelions and weeds already like set a base to grow. Like, you're essentially screwing yourself for the rest of the summer for your grass.
Well, no, what's destroying my lawn is my absolute refusal to take care of it for the next 4 months, not just this specific one.
I also just feel like, man, I hear this every single year, and I think there's a bunch of people who just use it as the ultimate excuse just not to cut their grass.
It's just funny because you could kind of track back to like this no mow May kind of became a trend. I want to say like just before COVID, so it hasn't really even been that big a thing for that long. Where were all these super pro bee people back then?
I feel like some guy just made it up. Like his neighbor was probably yelling at him to cut his grass, and he's like, I care about the bees, man.
All the dandelions are for the bees. It keeps them fed and alive.
I'm just saying, if you're partaking in No Mow May and you don't have an actual garden, then you're full of crap. If you actually care about the bees, plant some damn flowers for them to pollinate.
Well, no, I don't have a garden yet. The dandelions haven't bloomed yet.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
Yeah. It's like not showering and being like, I'm just trying to save water.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
There's a guy in Japan who was trying to climb Mount Fuji a few weeks ago, which is a dangerously high mountain, right?
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
They actually recommend that people don't do it out of hiking season, which is exactly what he did. And this guy had to be rescued twice within 4 days.
A second time is egregious.
Apparently, he was hiking up there. The altitude got to him or whatever. He wasn't feeling well, so they actually had to helicopter up there. They got him out. And then when he was back at home, he's like, well, I left all my gear up there.
Oh.
So he re-hiked up the mountain 2 days later.
Come on.
The main thing was he left his phone behind. He said he lost it in the snow while he was all disoriented.
Yeah.
So he's trying to go back up and collect all his things, and he's looking around for his phone, and he couldn't find his phone.
Oh, my God.
Which is a funny image of some guy trying to call a phone in the snow, trying to hear the vibrations or something.
Everybody be quiet. I left it on vibrate.
As he's looking for his phone in the snow, he gets so disoriented again from all the altitude, has to call the medevac again to come rescue him as he was trying to find his phone.
You gotta give him the full bill the second time, right? Like, I don't know what Japan's healthcare system is like compared to us or maybe the States, But if you have to fly the helicopter to the same place a second time to save the same person, there has to be some sort of bill.
Man, when I worked at the ski hill in high school, I would see people do that all the time. I mean, mind you, a way smaller hill.
Right, yeah.
But you would see people all the time start hiking up in their ski boots, aimlessly digging through the snow, trying to find it, trying to set off the, Find My iPhone thing and stuff.
And I mean, I get it. When you lose your phone, it's so expensive that you would do almost anything to get it back. But I don't think, in the case of Mount Fuji guy, your phone is worth risking your life for.
Well, the other thing is he clearly bought another phone because he had to call in.
Right. Yeah, he already had replaced this phone. What was in the camera roll that you were like, I need to get that back?
And I thought when Courtney lost her phone was dumb. Did I ever tell you that last year when she lost it at the rest stop?
No.
It was we pulled over at a rest stop driving back from my mom's, one of those on routes, and we were talking outside as I was having a dart. And for some reason, she put her phone on, the hood of the car by the window.
Oh, no.
And we start driving down the highway, and she's like, I don't know where my phone is. But we always do the thing where I'm like, it's connected to the Bluetooth.
Right.
So we know it's in the car.
It's somewhere in the vicinity,
and
yeah.
She's like, you have to pull over. I can't find it. And so I slam on the brakes, pull over on the highway, and as soon as I do, Bluetooth disconnects.
Oh, the brake shook it loose?
And we're like, what the hell? So we drive back to the on route. We go look around there. And then all of a sudden it hits me. I'm like, no, it was connected to the Bluetooth. So we literally drove along the side of the highway at 30 kilometers an hour, just hitting connect to Bluetooth, connect to Bluetooth, connect to Bluetooth. And then finally it connected, and we got out of the car. It was 8 o'clock at night, so it's dark.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to call this, and all I see is the in the ditch. And we found her phone.
Did it crack? Did it break?
It was fine.
Perfectly
it was
fine.
Perfect. Yeah.
Amazing.
Shout out to OtterBox.
And nobody had to call an emergency rescue operation to come and save your life.
The way she was acting, it sounded like we were going to have to, man.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
How'd you lose your phone?
I was on my way home from a buddy's house. I had to stop and take a leak. So I had my phone in my front pocket, so I set it on the roof of my little Saturn car, drove it all the way home, probably about 4 miles, 5 miles. Can't find my phone. I'm in the house looking. Nothing's ringing, so I drove all the way back to where it was, and it wasn't there. So I said to myself, it's got to be in the house. So I drove back to the house. I go back out to the car thinking it might be on that side road again. Drive to the side road, come back, nothing. Calling it, for some reason I was looking out the window, and the phone lit up on the roof of my car, so it made the trip twice.
Get out of here.
It's hanging on the whole way.
Yeah, I had a camouflage OtterBox on it, just literally stuck to the roof of the car.
Like I
couldn't believe it.
said, shout out to OtterBox, man.
But also, that's why you couldn't find it. Don't get a camo case for something you need to keep tabs on.
Well, it had orange on the back,
Oh.
but it was on its back, so there you go.
This is just a huge advertisement for OtterBox this morning.
Thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
OtterBox is saving lives, man.
Apparently. I mean, even the only time I've lost my phone, I got a little inebriated, wandered off from a party, and it's probably still in a ditch somewhere outside Sherwood Park, Alberta. And I say it's probably still there because it was in an OtterBox.
Yeah.
So it's probably still functional.
We've got Tim on the phone. Tim, how'd you lose your phone, or where'd you lose your phone?
Well, I lost my phone in the toilet.
Like you flushed it, or what?
Yeah, we ended up having to pull the toilet off. And
No way.
long story short, I went out east with my family to a buddy's place at his parents' house. We had a few drinks, and I went to the bathroom and I had a hoodie on, and I had my phone in my pocket, flushed the toilet, and kind of swung around, and my phone swung off into the toilet as it was flushing.
Did the phone still work?
No, it definitely did not work. We were just going to fly out the next day, so we had to go to the hardware store and pull the toilet off and get my phone on the drain because it plugged the toilet. We haven't been back there since, so I'm not sure if that was the case.
Is it PTSD? Like we can't go back
Or
there
is
now?
the invite not open anymore?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Maybe his parents didn't want us back there.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Kentucky Derby is this weekend. They call it the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, the fastest 2 minutes in sports, the greatest 2 minutes in sports.
The best part about it is listening to the announcers, especially down the tail end when they keep saying the ridiculous horse names over and over again.
I was a little disappointed. I was looking at the list of horse names, and I don't know, there weren't really any good ones. Like,
Aw.
there's Flying Mohawk, Chunk of Gold, American Promise.
Those are really disappointing.
The best one was Tis-tastic.
Tis-tastic?
I don't know.
I don't even know what that's a reference to.
I just feel like if I owned a horse, I would lean into the pun aspect of things.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's half the fun of going to a racetrack is looking at the program and betting money on the most absurd names on the docket.
So I want to do something. I want to put 30 seconds on the clock here, and let's see how many horse pun names we can come up with.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm always down for this.
All right, I'll count them from 3 to 1, then we'll start the timer here. 3, 2, 1. Pony Soprano.
Pony Montana.
Beyonce.
Trot Stap.
Hermione.
Philly Anselmo.
Mayonnaise.
Shoe Barrymore.
Chardonnay.
Mick Foley.
The Naked Gun.
Sylvester Stallion.
Liam Neeson.
Spurred Reynolds.
Hey Girl Hey.
Ronnie James Rodeo.
Sir Trotsalot.
Saddle Royale.
Sherlock Hooves.
Gluey Armstrong.
Glue Stick.
I had Bareback Obama.
That's great. Bareback Obama. That sounds like a porn star.
That one may already be taken.
I was going to say Tommy Lee as well.
Yeah, that's a very horse name.
You ever seen that video of him on the boat? That dude is like 1/16th horse, man. I swear to God.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's time for Brock and Dalby's Draft.
Since we spent so much time yesterday talking about fighting animals, I figured today we could do a draft of the animals that we hate. A top 3 worst animals of all time.
Now, I got first pick, and I know the longtime listeners to the show think that I'm going to pick turtles, my number 1 pick. They're not on my list.
No turtles?
I don't hate turtles. I don't want to fight turtles. Turtles are not the worst animals. My number 1 pick is probably the easiest number 1 pick I've ever had. The worst animal that exists on this planet is also the one that carries the most diseases, and that's the mosquito.
The mosquito, yeah.
It's just an absolute garbage animal. I've never been able to get anyone to explain to me what mosquitoes add to our world, to our planet, other than other animals eat them sometimes.
They literally suck.
That's it. Mosquitoes kill people, spread disease. They're an annoyance. They could ruin your day. They suck.
With my number 1 pick, I'm going to go with the Canadian goose.
I kind of had a feeling you might pick your nemesis in this one.
They are absolute a-holes. They just drop nuggets everywhere. They spaz on you just for being around. You could be walking with their kids and they try and attack you. And then they fly in and over our border without any paperwork all the time. They come as they please. I hate them.
We're worried it's a national security risk?
Yeah.
I'm also going to go to the skies for my second pick, and I'm going to take the seagull. Again, another animal. Who likes a seagull? Who's going like, oh man, seagulls, what a great animal. I'm so happy they're here.
I think even the biggest of bird watchers hate seagulls.
They crap on everything. They'll try and steal your food given the opportunity. Yeah. They're not even like pretty to look at. Some birds, you can see them in a tree or in a feeder and go like, oh, that's a really pretty looking animal. Seagulls are just like, bah!
Coming in at number 2, I am going to go with the black fly.
The black fly, okay.
The black fly, they absolutely just eat you up. They're dicks as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the mosquito, what purpose they serve in this world other than to torture us.
Right.
I don't know if they're sent from the devil. Like,
just to remind us that life could be a little bit better if they weren't here. My third pick might be a little bit off the board here, but I have long said that one of the worst animals on this planet, well, that's human beings, baby. Humans technically fall into the animal kingdom, thus making them a type of animal, and we suck.
Yeah.
We are absolutely awful for this planet.
It's an interesting pick, I guess.
For other animals, we are one of the worst things that's ever happened to planet Earth.
I'm trying to figure out how to call that not a real pick, but I guess you're right.
Oh, I double-checked on multiple occasions getting ready for this draft to make sure that we are in fact classified as animals.
Well, coming in number 3 for myself, I am going to have to go with the cat.
The cat was my other pick for round 3.
I'm going with the cat on there. I just hate him. I don't like them. You know me. I don't want cats around. And also, especially domestic cats, y'all that let your cats run around on the streets. They dig up in my garden. They poop everywhere. And they're just jerks, man.
There's a cat in my backyard most of the summer, most years. I don't own a cat. whose friggin' cat is this? Why is he back here? Why am I cleaning up after him?
I hate cats so much.
Cats are the worst, but not in my top 3, which today was the mosquito, the seagull, and the human.
I got the goose in at number 1. I got black flies in at number 2. And I've got the dreaded cat in at number 3 as well.
Calling them dreaded feels like giving them too much respect.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I'm always man enough to admit when I've lost. Catching a W in the draft this morning. The humans pick, I think, really swayed everyone there.
Hey, listen, if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that we all suck. It's a universal fact.
Few honorable mentions that we didn't say, but a lot of people texted in. Snakes being a big one there. I'm terrified of snakes, but I feel like they do serve a purpose in some ecosystems at least.
That's kind of the thing is, like, I thought about snakes for my draft, and I was like, listen, that's a live and let live. Like, if they stay cool away from me and I stay cool away from them, then they're fine. I don't mind them.
Squirrels was texted in a bunch as someone who's had squirrels get into their garage a few times. I get it. They're jerks.
I was going to say, if you've got property, you hate squirrels. That's just, there's no two ways about it. You live in an apartment, maybe you think they're cool.
Surprised neither of us picked leeches or ticks as well.
I didn't even think about ticks. I've been lucky to have 0 tick experience in my life. Just another reminder that staying indoors isn't all that bad.
Oh my God, it's the worst, especially like getting into this time of the year. I have to check the dogs all the time.
Yeah,
like,
man, it's gross.
Trying to pull those things out. And then finally, the skunk. Neither of us took.
I thought about skunk, but I was like, I don't know. Like, we're down on skunks because of the smell, but like they only spray when they get spooked. So it's kind of like, are they the worst? Is it really their fault?
Yeah, because you don't even do anything. You're just like walking and they're like, all right, here you go, spray. Like,
see, you're only saying that because your dogs got sprayed. What was it, last summer?
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Skunks just like walk around with a vendetta for some reason. Like,
I think it's purely survival, man. They're just worried about getting attacked and they've got one defense mechanism. I mean, it would be the same with octopi if they lived on land walking around inking everybody that comes around them.
I don't know. Skunks got the vibe of a dude who got bullied in high school and started working out after.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but...
All right, we're going to play wrong answers only because for the past few weeks we have been trying to get you to have right answers.
Right, now it's time to take the pressure off. This is more about you making us laugh than it is about you being correct.
We've got $100 in Lotto 649 tickets for Saturday's jackpot on the line. We spun the wheel, and today's question is, what does the tooth fairy do with our teeth?
Right, well, you know, we all know the tooth fairy comes, takes the tooth out from under your pillow while you're sleeping, replaces it with some money, but then what?
We've got 3 contestants on the line. If you are not one of them, you can be a judge. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hi, it's Allie.
Allie, are you ready to play wrong answers only?
Yes, I am.
All right. The question, Allie, is, what does the tooth fairy do with our teeth?
I think she probably grinds them up and snorts them.
I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting that.
Great wrong answer, Allie.
Damn, Allie.
All right, stay on hold. Grinding them up and snorting them. That's line 1.
Wow.
Let's see what line 2's got for us. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Nicole. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. All right, you ready to play?
Yes.
All right, the question is, what does the tooth fairy do with our teeth?
He sells them to the local denturist, who actually makes them into dentures for older people, so it makes them stronger.
Oh, he's pawning them off.
It's recycling.
Pawning them off, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Keeping them in the economy. I like that. All right.
All right, stay on hold, Nicole. All right, that's Nicole on line 2. Let's go to line 3 here. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Evan.
Evan. All right, my man. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, here's the question. What does the tooth fairy do with our teeth?
You know that rattling sound you hear when you jiggle around a spray paint can? That's a kid's tooth in there.
That's what Bart Simpson says in The Simpsons.
That was my best Bart Simpson impersonation.
All right, buddy, stay on hold. All right. So everyone did a fantastic job. A round of applause.
Absolutely.
But just looking at the text line, someone even said we don't need to hear the other callers. It's got to be Allie this morning.
Nicole's was a very interesting answer. Evan Simpson's reference always goes after my heart. But I mean, just the juxtaposition of Allie's
grinding them up and snorting them.
And then snorting them like drugs. Holy.
Allie, congratulations. You are so wrong. So you get a ding and a round of applause and $100 in Lotto 649 tickets, all right?
Thank you.
Yeah, grinds them up and snorts them. That's how she can fly around there.
That's right. Yeah. Imagine all the teeth you could snort if you were to go on and win Lotto 649 tonight, which is worth $58 million.
Well, she's got to get around all night. So.
Well, if you happen to win the jackpot tonight, you got some nickels and dimes or some teeth we can snort at least?
Of course I do.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Send a text 762-555 right now. Send a text. Ask us anything that you want. Send a text. You can ask all your weird thoughts to us. Send a text 762-555 right now.
The best is people cannot see that you were leaning away from the mic to breathe.
If you don't get this reference, we can't be friends.
Well, yeah, like, from a legal perspective, you might be too young for us to be friends with.
First question here says, does the Tooth Fairy bedazzle all her furniture and all her stuff with the teeth?
Just covered in calcium. The entire house is made out of teeth. That's what I would have to assume.
Is there one Tooth Fairy, or are there many Tooth Fairies and they, like, exchange teeth like that's their currency?
I mean, I would have to think that it's achievable by one person, right? If we're willing to say that Santa Claus can get to every single house on Earth in one night, not every kid loses a tooth every night. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think the Tooth Fairy controls our economy? Because if you got to think about it, where are all these like loonies and toonies coming from?
That's true. There has to be some sort of income for the Tooth Fairy. So where is the Tooth Fairy getting the money from in the exchange process?
Yeah.
To then dump off? Is the Tooth Fairy minting their own currency?
The Tooth Fairy is part of the Rothschild family. That's what it is.
Now we're going down
That's a great conspiracy. Someone else said, everybody always talks about red flags. What's a green flag? I'd say when you're hanging out with a group of people and you're telling a story and nobody's listening, but that one person keeps eye contact with you just to be like, I'm here with you.
Right, yeah.
That's a great green flag.
That's a green flag, and knowing that that's a really good person. I think it can also be as simple as someone who legitimately just asks how your day is and then listens to the answer, whether they're by themselves or in a group of people. There's so many people that we've trained ourselves as like, how are you doing? Is like a society question.
Yeah.
But if you can tell that someone's like actively listening and like asking you follow-up questions, it's like, that's a green flag. That's someone who really cares.
Sometimes it is. Other times it's like, you're nosy as hell, bro.
Well, they could. Yeah, it could be that.
You just like to gossip.
Could be that.
Someone said, you guys said last week that you don't get nervous on air anymore, but is there anything that does get you nervous anymore?
Being anywhere up high. I still very much, if I can see far enough down, like 5th floor or higher, I still get a little bit of the increase in blood pressure.
Yeah.
And if I do karaoke.
Yeah.
I like singing. I was a karaoke DJ to like make side money during college. But if I get up in front of a group of people and I start singing, I still get a bit of a flutter.
That's a better answer than mine. I was just going to say whenever a cop drives behind me, but that always gets me nervous and I'm not even doing anything wrong half the time.
That one only gets me if I look down and I'm like, oh, I'm 10, 15 over.
Someone said, what is a profession that you think gets too much hate? I feel like we've talked about this before. I think parking enforcement.
Parking enforcement gets a lot of hate because they are doing a job that is necessary, but I do think that they deserve at least a little bit of hate because sometimes they're real nitpicky about it.
Yeah, but it's tough because it's like they're just doing their job. It's not their fault that you didn't pay for your parking or you're late on your parking.
Absolutely. I would also say that the people who work at CRA, especially this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to be mad at the idea of the CRA, like we've talked about. They already know how much we owe. Why are we playing games with guessing numbers? But the individual people who work there, especially the ones that answer our phone calls, probably get more hate than they deserve.
All right, we'll wrap up with this one. Someone said, you know how they say 9 out of 10 dentists recommend something? Who's the 10th guy, and why is he always disagreeing with the whole system?
Well, he's also on the Rothschild payroll.
I'd say that's the guy that's not getting paid by Crest. He's the only one that didn't get a good offer.
We're thinking that he's the truth teller. He's the only one committed to letting us know that this, in fact, is not good for us.
It's like, what's that meme? You guys are getting paid?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is fetching. Yep, fetching. Fetching. Fetching.
Which way?
And it's attractive or appealing. And I always thought that's what the dog was doing when you threw a stick. Fetching it. Anyways, well, I guess that's just a bombastic way of saying someone looks good. Yeah. That's just about does it. Have a great one. Cheers.
What movie is it where, like, that's so fetch?
I was going to say, isn't that like Mean Girls?
Something like that.
It's one of those kind of movies where it's like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Fetch is not happening, or whatever it is.
So basically, if you think someone's attractive, they're fetching?
Yeah, it's an old-timey term. You don't hear it a lot anymore.
Feels like a British thing, like, find you quite fetching, my love.
Honestly, yeah. Like, a gal used to come out of the walk-in with the nice ball gown on, going out to a gala, and like, my goodness, you look fetching in that outfit.
Slide in the DMs with the fetching. You matched on Tinder today?
Hit her with a fetching today.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Goes the other way, too. Ladies, if your fella put some work into his outfit today, let him know on the way out the door. Hey, look fetching today. Just thought I'd let you know.
You look fetching in those drywall pants.
We appreciate being told we look nice.
Nothing hotter than a guy with mud on his pants,
Now that's fetch.
Fetching. Use it wherever you can, love.
Want to be a part of the podcast?
Leave a message on the Bad Line.
The Bad Line is the answering machine for the Brock and Dalby Show.
To get the number, text the word BAD to 762-555.
Thanks for listening to the Brock and Dalby Podcast.